All right, let's get right into it. You know, brands spend an absolute fortune on marketing, but there's always that nagging question, what's actually working? So today, we're going to tackle marketing attribution head-on and break down the 5 most common and, frankly, most costly mistakes that keep businesses guessing.
Get this. This quote is over 100 years old, but man, does it still hit home. It just perfectly captures that anxiety so many marketers feel even today. That feeling of uncertainty about where your ad spend is truly making an impact.
I'm willing to bet it does, because let's be honest, figuring out which half has been the name of the game in marketing since, well, forever. But what if you could finally find out? That's where marketing attribution comes in. It's the tool, the process, designed to finally solve that century-old problem by connecting the dots between your marketing efforts and what your customers actually do.
And this has never been more important. Today, something like 70% of all marketing budgets are poured into digital channels. We are swimming in data, which means we have this incredible opportunity to get this right.
But here's where it gets complicated. The average customer crosses about 7 to 8 different channels before they buy anything. Think about it. They see an ad on Instagram, then they search on Google, maybe they read a blog. So which one gets the credit? Answering that is tricky, and it's exactly where most brands start to mess up. But getting attribution right is hard. So let's just break down the 5 biggest mistakes that lead marketers astray, and, more importantly, how you can fix them.
All right, mistake number 1. And honestly, this is the most fundamental one, not using UTM parameters. If you don't know, think of them as little breadcrumbs you add to a link. They tell your analytics exactly where a visitor came from, which Facebook ad, which email newsletter, you name it. Without them, all that valuable traffic just gets dumped into a useless direct bucket, and you're flying blind.
So the fix is simple, but it has to be non-negotiable. Every single campaign, every ad, every email, every post needs a UTM. You've got to create a clear naming system, and please use a simple spreadsheet to keep it all organized. Clean tracking is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, so once your tracking is clean, the next big pitfall is how you actually read the data. This leads to mistake number 2, putting all your faith in just one attribution model. That's kind of like trying to understand a whole movie by only watching the first scene or just the final credits. You're missing the entire story. And you can see right here why that's a problem. A first-touch model gives all the credit to the very first ad someone saw. So you end up thinking your awareness campaigns are miracle workers. On the flip side, last touch gives all the glory to the final click, completely ignoring the blog posts or social ads that got the customer interested in the first place. The solution here is to be strategic about it. You need to experiment with different models, like linear or time decay, to get a more balanced picture. And you got to align the model with your campaign's goal. If it's a brand awareness campaign, sure, maybe first touch makes sense. But for a buy now retargeting ad, last touch is probably more telling.
But hey, even with the perfect model, you can still miss the bigger picture if you're only looking at one screen. We've all done this, right? You see an ad on your phone, you're scrolling Instagram, and then later that day you go to your laptop to actually search for it and buy it. If a brand isn't tracking you across those devices, they think their mobile ad was a total flop.
So how do you track that whole journey? The key is unifying your data. There are tools like a customer data platform, a CDP, that are literally built for this. They create a single view of a customer across all their devices. And hey, don't forget the low-text solutions. A simple, how did you hear about us survey at checkout can fill in a surprising number of gaps. And this right here, this quote really gets to the heart of it. This whole exercise isn't just about giving credit where credit is due. It's a discovery process. It's about finding the truth of how your customers actually behave and what really influences their decisions.
And that pursuit of truth leads us right to mistake number 4, completely ignoring the assists. It's like only giving credit to the person who scored the goal and forgetting about the other players on the field who passed the ball and made that goal possible in the first place. So the fix is pretty intuitive. Start valuing those assists. Use multi-touch models that give partial credit all along the customer journey. You should dive into reports like the Assisted Conversions report in Google Analytics. It will literally show you which of your channels are the best team players, the ones influencing sales even if they're not scoring the final goal.
So once you start valuing the whole team, there's one last major blind spot you've got to address. And it is a big one: neglecting everything that happens offline. Someone sees a billboard or a print ad, they walk into your store, and they buy something. If you're not tracking this, you are missing a massive piece of the puzzle. To fix this, you have to build bridges between your online and offline worlds. You can use unique phone numbers or QR codes in your offline ads.
You can integrate your point-of-sale data with your marketing analytics. The end goal is to get all your customer data, from a web click to an in-store credit card swipe, all into one place.
So, we've gone through the individual mistakes and their fixes, but the real solution here isn't just about tactics, it's about adopting a whole new mindset.
I love this quote because it's just so true. Attribution isn't something you set up once and then forget about. It's a continuous process. You're always tracking, analyzing, learning, and then refining your approach based on what the real data is telling you.
And look, if there is one thing you take away from this entire explainer, please let it be this. So many people obsess over finding the perfect attribution model. But the truth is, your tracking setup is way more important. Without clean, consistent data coming in, even the fanciest model in the world is useless. It's garbage in, garbage out.
It's also about measuring more than just the final sale. You need to look at what are sometimes called Level 1 KPIs, things like app downloads, website visits, or just engagement levels. A campaign might not be driving immediate revenue, but if it's building a huge engaged audience for you, that is a massive win that will absolutely pay off down the line.
So here it is, your new playbook. And it really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, master the basics. Make clean UTM tracking non-negotiable. Second, see the whole journey. Connect your online, offline, and cross-device data. And third, think of this as a continuous process of improvement, not a one-and-done project.
You know, we started with John Wanamaker's 100-year-old problem. But with the tools and the strategies we have today, you don't have to wonder anymore. The real question is, now that you know how to find the answer, which half of your budget are you ready to save?